I'm not saying that it's ghosts, but it's ghosts. Just a joke. Let me introduce myself. My name is Scary Sylvi, and I like to share spooky stories. So guys, if you want to see me lose my absolute mind trying to explain a time thesis that I have, please stay tuned till the very end because I've got a good one for you. However, this video is actually going to be about two accounts of the same story from Hailey, who you've seen on my channel before if you've seen my other videos, and my mother, who has also been featured on this channel. Hailey will be providing the first story because it did technically happen to her specifically. It was just funny enough that my mom and my aunt were in the same room when this all happened. So I have three accounts, but only two stories. I really hope sometime soon I will be able to get my aunt's telling of the story as well, and I will try to feature that in another video. I'm gonna quickly promote Hailey again because if this is your first time watching, you may be interested. She serves the northern Texas and southern Oklahoma areas. She has a meal prep, and you can find her on Facebook by searching Let's Eat with the eat all capitalized, or Let's Eat Meal Prep. She also has a Gmail that you can use, and that information should come up here for you at letseatmealprepservices@gmail.com. Short and sweet, we've done it before. If you'd like to see more information, you can view my other videos or just go to Facebook and search her that way. But Hailey is a little bit of a psychic, and she doesn't have like a job in that, but that is really what she is. She is able to sense spirits around people, want to give them a last message, stuff like that. She's a very in-tuned empath. We love her. She's a good friend of the family. But I will let Hailey tell the story, and then I will see you at the end.
I just remember being tired that day. I had accidentally booked you and your sister, and I said, congratulations, y'all go ahead and come in. We're going to do y'all at the same time. It worked out, though. And then I had done your nails, and then I just remember knowing my drill was right here, and I went to reach for it, and it was missing. And then I was just like, where can the drill be? Started looking for it. Everybody started looking for it. We were looking everywhere. My room needs to be cleaned up a little, but it's not like hoarderish or anything, you know. This desk looking for it. Everybody's just looking for this drill. I mean, we are going all the way to the bathroom. We don't know, like, did someone actually fell in our pocket mysteriously? She put all the files together, and the drill is of yay height. So without this bag, you know, the normal stuff is not all here. Like, you can see the drill. It's like the tallest monument at the cemetery. You see it coming. And the drill literally was nowhere to be found. I would say, like, what, 15 minutes goes by? Yeah, at least. Like, we're all looking, and I'm throwing trash away. I'm just to the point where I'm about to get pissed off. You know, I don't want them to ever see me just get upset, because it's not pretty. I was down here digging under my desk, and I finally was just like, whoever's playing with me, like, it ain't funny no more. Like, I'm really getting upset. And I swear, like, we all looked at the same time, and the drill was just, like, right here. It's just right there. It was just there, and it was not there. It was not there. It was nowhere. And then it was, and wherever it was, it wasn't there. And then it was there. And both stepped back at the same time. And they were like, whoa. And I was just like, thank God. Like, I am so thankful that somebody else got to experience that with me. Because that happens to me. Stuff don't just disappear. Like, why does this happen? And then that's the question. Why does it happen?
Now, full disclosure, I will tell you this. This is a sign of ADHD. If you put something somewhere and then put it somewhere else on accident while you're thinking of 5 different things at once, you can easily misplace things. However, this moment, I do not think it was an ADHD moment. Even though Hailey is ADHD, I don't think it's a moment because 1, it was in the same place that she thought it was there, it was on the desk, and 2, there were 3 mothers in that room. And no, this is not the setup of a joke. 3 mothers in that room, and not one of them could find it. Now, I don't think my aunt is ADHD, but I know my mother is not. My mother is not ADHD. I get it from my dad. So for her to not be able to see it and find it immediately, that's wild. Because like I said, like Hailey said, it was in the same place. It was in the same place as she had said it, but for some reason 3 people couldn't see it. I think I've told it on my TikTok, which that information should pop up here. It's the same as here, it just has 2 double zeros at the end of it because I had already stolen my own name. But one night I was doing a project. I particularly remember this because it was just so weird. But what happened was, oh, my brother's here. What happened was I was in my room, I was doing a project for school. It was definitely last minute because on top of my ADHD, I have procrastination. Not fun. I'm pretty sure it's actually executive disorder. But I was in my bedroom and I was on my floor because it was like a big project, cutting and gluing things to a post board, right? I just said I was cutting things, so I had scissors, and the scissors have bright blue handles, and at the time I had a Nightmare Before Christmas black comforter on my bed. I was in my room doing my project. I set the scissors on top of my bed, okay? Set them there. Bright blue scissors on a black comforter. Oh, my other brother is here. Fuck me. I had to get the scissors again, and so I reached up, knowing where they were, and they were not there. Had no idea where they were. I looked, like I said, it could be an ADHD thing, so I'm looking everywhere. I'm looking under my stuff, I'm looking under the poster board, I'm looking under the bed, I'm looking in between the bed, like frame and the mattress, and box springs, everything. I could not find it, so I said maybe I took it out of the room, maybe I took it back to where it belongs, thinking that I was done and I wasn't. So I went back, I checked, couldn't find it, asked my mom, have you seen it? She said no. It was just a whole thing, and I tore my room apart. I thought maybe I didn't set it on top of the comforter, maybe I set it underneath, so I pulled it back, looking through, can't find it. Finally sit down, and I'm just like, I do not know where these scissors are, and I'm gonna have to tear this stuff just to get it cut. Finally looked up, they're exactly where I'd put them. Exactly. Not to the side, right where I left them. I was so mad. I was so mad because I was like, what is even the point? How did I not see them there? And, you know, it's just me, nobody else was in the room, so I kind of attribute it to just blindness. Like sometimes when you're looking for something so hard, you just don't see it. It's right there in front of your face. Hearing that somebody else has had this experience, hearing that somebody else has had this happen to them, and having two other people in the room besides themselves see that it is not there, and then suddenly it is. It makes me feel valid knowing that this happens to people. So now I'm just going to allow my mom to talk about her experience of the situation and what she did to try to remedy it, and I will let her tell it, and I will see you at the end.
I was having my nails done by my beautiful friend Hailey, who y'all have heard from a lot on this channel. She's very in tuned spiritually and has witnessed a lot of things in her life. So a lot of things happened to her. So we were at her shop. My sister and I both get our nails done there. So we had back-to-back appointments so that we could visit and all be there together. She was working on my nails. She had used her little drill on my sister's nails previously, and so she went to look for it. It was nowhere to be found. Now this appointment was later. We were her last two appointments. So her table was cluttered. There was a lot of stuff all over it. Little jars of dip and finger, polish and nail files and wipes, all kinds of things strewn across her little table. But they're all kind of small items. And the drill stands up, I'd say 8 or 9 inches tall. And it's white. It's an obvious item. She went to pick it up and it was just not there, not where she had put it. So my sister and I are helping her look, and we were looking all over the place. We looked on the floor, we looked in the trash, we looked even in the bathroom, because Hailey had gone to the bathroom after, in between. It was just nowhere. I even organized her desktop, was trying to put everything that was, similar together, like all her little jars and all the nail polish and all the files, so that we could, separate things and see if it was just somewhere. Well, it was nowhere, and we knew it had to be there. We scoured the floor. We looked in our pockets even, because, I don't know why we would have stuck in our pockets, but we did. And then Hailey was you could tell she was getting really upset. And she looked down on the floor again, and she said, okay, if I don't find that pretty soon, I'm gonna be really mad. I'm gonna get really mad. And she was talking to whatever spirits happened to be there, I guess, because she wasn't talking to us. You could tell she was looking kind of up when she said that. Then she looked at her table again, and there it was, right in the spot where she had set it down before, standing upright on its end, just like she always kept it, standing up taller than everything else on the desk. There it was. And my sister saw it, and I saw it, and we were just, our mouths just hanging open like, what? That is impossible. There's no way that has been sitting there this whole time. Not all three of us would have missed it. And so we were just looking at each other like, okay, we got to get out of here.
Hailey states that she was just so happy that other people were there to experience it with her, because it happens all the time. She goes on to explain in the last recording that, it had happened again after that, where her boyfriend's shoes had gone missing. I don't know if you've ever experienced it, and if you have, you know how weird it is, just in the moment, knowing that something is there, that it should be where you set it, and then suddenly it's not there. And then what's worse is coming back after searching everywhere for it, and it be in the place that you set it. It's an odd little turn of events that, like I promised, I'm going to go ahead and go into that explanation. If you could, do me a favor. Let me know in the comments, have you ever experienced this? And also let me know in the comments, after I explain my time thesis, if you think that's possible. Especially if you have a better understanding of how time works in the fourth dimension and all of that. Please let me know. I need to know. It is very convoluted. It is difficult to explain. So if it doesn't make much sense, it's okay. I recognize that fault within myself, but I will try to explain it as best as I can. Now, just for a frame of reference, I'm going to be talking about universes, and I believe that universes are kind of stacked on top of each other. There are numerous amounts, infinite possibilities, and so that there are infinite possibilities, I believe that there is a possibility that you yourself can move throughout these universes in times of uncertainty. I don't think you can do it consciously. And something to use as an idea of what I'm talking about is there's an episode of Rick and Morty where they fall into the Schrödinger universe, basically, where everything is uncertain. And anytime you make a decision uncertainly, it creates a split in the time-space continuum. Morty and Summer can't decide on anything, and they end up making, multiple universes within this one, and it starts collapsing. And Rick starts doing that too. He becomes uncertain, and it starts making all these things happen. It's a hilarious episode. You should watch it. But that's what got me thinking that may be a possibility that in times of uncertainty, we are creating not really splits in timelines, but the universes become out of sync. There we go. The universes become out of sync. I'm going to use, if you may have noticed, this cup appeared. I'm going to use this cup as an example. So I know for certain that I am setting this cup right there. It's on camera. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. If it does, though, let me know. Editing doesn't count. I'm not going to do that to you guys. So if I were to certainly put this cup like I just did in this spot, that is where this cup is going to be in all universes, because I am certain that I am putting this cup here. I am aware of it. I am consciously thinking of where I put that cup. However, I think it's a possibility that if you are uncertain about something, maybe I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do to make action on trying to get the Iqua laws to stay where they are, whatever I'm deciding, whatever I'm thinking on, whatever I'm mulling over in my head, if I am uncertain and I have a stationary item such as this cup, I can't pass through this. It is a for sure item that is stationary within all universes. So I've set this cup here. If I am uncertain, however, I could set the cup here, or I could set it on my desk, or I could set it on the chair arm, whatever. If I'm uncertain, I could set it. There are possibilities of me setting it several different places. So I think in those terms of me placing a stationary item in one place, if I'm uncertain within the different dimensions, I'm setting it in several different places. And that's where I think this starts happening. I think we start shifting universes in those times of uncertainty. And therefore, where I set the cup here, it's now lost. It's kind of like when you're lost, right? It's kind of like what people say when you're lost is stay in one place and somebody will come to you. Because otherwise, you're just going to be passing each other. Kind of like in Kingdom Hearts, where you're first trying to get, you don't know it, but you're trying to get in the same area as Donald and Goofy, as Sora, and you just kind of keep going through the different doors and you never quite meet up until obviously the story is ready for you to. But it's like that. You're passing these moments within time where this stationary item is lost in the idea of where it needs to be. This is lost within the dimension of time as to where it doesn't really know where it's supposed to be stationary. Not that it has any sentience, just time doesn't know where you're supposed to be. So you're moving around. And then, once you become certain, once you slip back into the universe of which you belong, the cup is where you know you put it. Does that make sense? I've kind of refined that thought, but my mother said it made complete sense and that it was kind of scary as to it making sense. I actually believe in one law, Murphy's Law. Anything and everything can happen, which is why I take a little bit of different theories and try to make it make sense in my head. So if that makes sense, please let me know. If you like that explanation, let me know. I would love to hear anybody's thoughts on that. Hey guys, I just wanted to take this time to say thank you for following my channel. If you would like to have your stories featured at the end of my videos like this, I would like to recognize you. If you just want to have something written out to where I read it and retell it, then you can leave those in the comments. I will read them. I'd be happy to see them and put them at the ends of my other videos. However, if you are wanting to have a channel promoted, such as Instagram, TikTok, or your own YouTube channel, you can actually find me on Patreon, where you can gain access to my Gmail and send me actual recordings along with anything that you would like to be promoted, and I would be more than happy to provide that promotion for you. And this story comes from my coworker, and she did not want to be recorded, and I respect that for her. But the story is that my coworker came to me yesterday and started telling me this story that I found really interesting. Apparently, at an old house in a different state, my coworker had just moved in with her partner and had started noticing that when she would walk back and forth in the hallway, it almost felt like something was following her or watching her or actually passing by her, but nothing would be there. After a while of this, she mentioned it to her partner and said, "Hey, it feels like something's in the hallway." And her partner said, "Oh, you know what? Like, a lot of people have said that. It's kind of weird, but I don't know what it could be," supposedly. So a couple of days go by and my coworker actually ended up seeing an apparition of a young boy in the hallway. The next day, my coworker told their partner that this happened, that she saw this little boy and didn't know who he was or why she even saw a little boy, and the partner kind of stopped and said, "Okay, that's weird, because the people that owned the house before me had a little boy that died, and that's why they sold it, was in their grief. They didn't want the house anymore. They didn't want all these memories of him, so they left. And a couple of years later, they came back stating that they wanted the house back because they felt like the boy was still here." And the real kicker of the story was, apparently, the little boy had died in the hallway.